I'm at the location where I take most of my Instagram photos, and if you would like to know how I create my content, please keep on watching. Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I am a brand new YouTuber who just relaunched my YouTube channel. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. I would be really happy for that. Anyway, this video is about how you crush the Instagram game with really nice looking photos that you take by yourself. Yes. So cute, huh? You're so cute. Okay, I'm back. I am the expert of being super awkward in front of a lot of people, on locations, by myself, taking photos. But I mean, if you don't have a professional photographer or friends, if you don't have friends like me, you can do it by yourself. I actually do find it really cool that I can do everything by myself and not be dependent on anyone else and be asking for too many favors from people. So, I mean, it's a great way to have your photos taken and do it exactly how you want it. So in this video, I want to show you guys how I create my Instagram content, where I usually shoot, and why I do the things that I do. Yeah. I usually take the bus to the location. I go for a quick walk just to scan the place and look for those really nice spots, the really nice backgrounds, and what goes with what I have in my mind. So I don't really care if there's people there. But I mean, you should be polite and you should be respectful of other people, but I don't really care if people stop and stare at me and think that I'm weird, because at the end of the day, I get really great photos and they just judge. I start with my tripod. I do a little bit of testing to get the exposure right. From my understanding, there is no right or wrong exposure. Everything is up to you and what you like. I usually go for a little bit overexposed, but you have to be a little bit careful because whenever you overexpose, there's no information left to pull out from the pictures. So if you do a little mess up, your picture is a little bit harder to rescue rather than pictures that are a little bit underexposed. So most of my photos are shot as it is from my camera. I do most of my work in the camera. I barely do any editing because I don't like the feeling of taking pictures and not being satisfied with how it turned out. So I want to know and have the full control that everything that I do now is what I'm looking at when I go home. I actually like to shoot on a really sunny day. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's a little bit harder, but for me, I really love it when the sun is behind me and I can use whatever that's around me to reflect the light on my face and make my eyes pop out and be bright blue. I really love that. And that's why I really love the Opera House in Oslo, because they have so many white backgrounds and buildings. Everything is reflecting on your face and you look amazing. So look for that when you're going for a shooting location. That's why I really love that place and I take almost all of my pictures there. I know you guys are a little bit tired of it, but I just need those Opera House pictures. Sorry guys. And if you're using a DSLR like me, you can go to your setting and there's like a self timer, but it's a little bit harder because you have to run back and forth all the time between every shot, which is a little bit stressful and like taking a lot of time. So I would really recommend you guys to buy a remote control like this one. It's really easy to set up. You just go to your settings and there's a remote control button, I guess, and you just click that one and you just click on your remote control and you have 2 seconds to pose. And it also makes your photo perfectly focused. So, I mean, I really recommend that one. I believe it was $20. I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna link it down below. And yeah, I usually spend like 3 or 4 hours at the location. I like to try out different things, even though it always turns out to be the same. And I also do a lot of shootings after each other, because I do this like once a week during the summer, so I don't have to go out every single day to take new photos. So I bring a lot of clothes and accessories that I'm going to have for the photos. And yeah, I change on the location. I don't really care anymore. For me, it's about being really effective and do as much of photos as possible so I can be really efficient with my time. Oh, I forgot to tell you my little trick. Because I like to shoot when it's really sunny, it's hard to keep my eyes open the entire time. So I go towards the sun, I close my eyes for like 5 seconds, and I slowly turn back to the camera and I click my remote control and I take the picture. That way my eyes are getting used to the sun and I'm getting used to the amount of light that's coming in. That's a really good trick to have in mind if you're taking photos like me with a lot of sun. Because I know it's really hard because I have really sensitive eyes, so it's hard to keep my eyes completely open the entire time. So yeah, that's really helpful. When I was starting out doing this by myself, I was really, really worried and scared of everyone around me because I might bump into somebody I know, or like people are staring, people are being rude, you know. I live in Norway, so people here are really rude and they really hate you and really judge you. You have to not care. As easy as it sounds. I mean, it requires a little bit of training to be comfortable in front of the camera and being on location. So if you're new to this, you should just choose somewhere quiet to begin with, just to have the feeling of doing it by yourself in public. You will actually be really surprised by the amount of people coming up to you, being nice. I've had several people telling me that I am brave and I should not have any problems with getting a photographer to help me out. But when you don't have friends that you want to use for taking pictures all the time, I mean, it's a lot easier to do it by yourself and get good at it. So that's what I did. I just figure out a way to be brave enough and confident enough to just go out there and not care and take those pictures. Now I'm gonna show you how I edit my photos. It's really not that hard. I know a lot of people, they use Lightroom and they apply a lot of filters. I don't really use filters. I kind of prefer it as natural as possible. So I'm gonna sit a little bit over to the side. So I'm gonna have my screen over here so you guys can see. Just a second, I'm gonna get you guys on. Yeah, there you go. So I have the folder over here with some of my pre-selected photos. I'm gonna show you guys how I edit my Oslo Opera House picture. As you can see, there is some people in the shot that I don't want to be there. When you are on a public place, there's always gonna be people in the background, and sometimes it's hard to crop them out and sometimes it's easy. I have 2 pictures over here. One is the one I'm going to use, obviously, and the other one is a picture where the background is completely clean, because when you're standing there for like half an hour or an hour or more, you will at some point get a shot with no one in the background. So that picture is the one you're going to use to apply on the picture you want to use, okay? So I click this tool over here. I mark a lot of it. And I go to the picture I want to use and I pass it on. I'm gonna erase that with a really soft eraser. There you go. Just to make sure you get all of the edges. It's kind of embarrassing if you miss some spots and people zoom into your Instagram photo and they're like, oh wow, this is photoshopped. Another way to tell if you've done a good job or not is to go to the layer and you just click the eyeball over there, and you just click back and forth. And there you see if it's something missing. Like I can see the leg is not really good. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to erase a little bit of my skirt and my leg. Yeah. Just for perfection. So that's the photoshopping that I do. For the colors, I usually go to curves and I pull a little bit down, slightly up. Because I overexpose my pictures, it's really bright, so you don't have to adjust too much. I usually go for a higher saturation because I like it when there's a lot of color in the picture. Every picture is different, so I don't have a preset for that because it doesn't apply on every picture. Because I like the blue color, I sometimes go into adjustments and I go to selective color and I go to the blues and I pull the blue a little bit up. Somewhere there, I guess. And because I'm going to post this picture on Instagram, I'm going to give the image the right size because this is the long portrait size measurements. I just reposition the photo to the frame and I click save, and yeah, that's about it. As you can see, it's really easy and I don't do a lot of editing, and you don't have to get Photoshop for those kind of things because I think there's a lot of apps nowadays that has everything that I just did. If you are interested in photography and getting serious with Instagram, I would highly recommend getting Photoshop somewhere along the road. I think I covered everything that I need to say about this. If you have any questions whatsoever, just leave it down below. And if you're still watching this after all of this talking, please like this video. It really means a lot to me. I will be posting more frequently this summer and the rest of the year, hopefully. So stay tuned, guys, and take care.